Hello guys and welcome to this new video. In this video I want to talk about the performance of the HP Chromebook X2 and I will also shortly compare it to the Lenovo Chromebook Duet. Lenovo One is a best budget detachable Chromebook that you can get for around 200 or 250 euro or dollar, and the HP One is like double the price. So for most of you the question is, does it worth it to do the upgrade, or if you want to buy a new one, how is the performance of this HP device? That's why for the first review part I decided to talk about the performance and clear this main question for you guys. Hope you guys will enjoy this video, and please stay tuned as I will do more comparison between these two devices, as I'm decided to keep this HP Chromebook X2 as my daily driver. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. So let's just get it started with the CPU and the processor of these two devices. The Lenovo Duet comes with the MediaTek P60T, and the HP X2, the device that I have the table on, has the Snapdragon 7C. On the paper, actually, the HP X2 should perform better based on the CPU performance and the benchmarks. So for that, I run also a few benchmarks using the Geekbench 5, and I will show you guys the results here. For me, the problem is that with the HP One, I don't get a consistent results from the multi-core score. So I will show one of them, for example. This is a first one. You guys clearly see that the single core score is much better than the Lenovo one, but the multi-core score is almost the same. I will go to another results from the HP one. Again, the single core is around usually 550 to 600, and the multi-core score is lower here. If I go to another result from the HP one, for example, the first one actually I did with this device, I have 577 and I have 1686, which is still a good improvement over the Lenovo one. So for the single core, I could easily say that you get almost 2 times faster performance. But the multi-core score is somehow weird here. It changes from 1300 to 1700 for the HP device. What I realized in the daily use, that the performance of the HP One is much better than the Lenovo one. So there is definitely a clear winner. I think the single core score, because of the double the performance, you clearly realize it on daily basis. When you open the app, when you do multitasking, it is much faster. So there is a definitely an improvement there. I don't want to say it's perfect. It's still, you feel sometimes a lag in the HP One, but if you thought that Lenovo is really has a bad performance and it's too laggy, maybe you will be a bit satisfied with this device. So for my opinion, only for the CPU update, like performance update, it doesn't worth the money. But this HP One has so many different aspects that eventually, in my opinion, makes the double the price more reasonable. So now let's move to the GPU performance here. I did also a GPU test here to see how the GPU performance is upgraded. And based on this GPU Mark benchmark that I found that it worked in these two devices, because these devices don't run all of the Android applications, so I found this one which works. And based on the results, you clearly see that the HP One has almost 3 times better GPU performance. And I could also realize that in the daily usage when I was playing the games. Actually, I played more games with this device because of a much better screen, and also the CPU and the GPU performance was better, so it made it playing games much better enjoyable. Now that I talked about the CPU and GPU performance of these two devices, for me always it was problematic to use the YouTube and make the full screen with these Lenovo Chromebook Duet, so because it was getting a little bit slow. That's why I want to show the comparison here, just playing the one video from mine and then trying to make it like a full screen. There usually a slowness. I'm trying to do that now. You can see the animations, a little bit is like slow, but it works. I will now try the same with the Lenovo one. Let me pause this. Now I will try it. It's slightly slower, and you also realize that in daily basis that this is a little bit slower compared to the HP one. Let me also try to open another one. Let me make it full screen, come back. You guys see the speed there. Now I want to do the same with the Lenovo one, make it multi. You see the animation is a little bit slower here. And you feel that in daily basis comparing these two devices. Now I want to run one of the games that I usually play, is this Space Marshals 2, on both of these devices. So you can also see the runtime and how it performs. 1, 2, 3. That also exactly shows the differences between the performance and the GPU of these two devices. You guys clearly see that this is much faster loaded. It's already inside of the game and it performs smoothly. There is no issue here. I sometimes felt that when I play with the Lenovo one, it gets a little bit too much intense, that it requires a little bit CPU performance and GPU performance, it gets slightly laggy. That was barely the case, especially in this case for this Space Marshal 2 that I played with the HP one, and this screen, it makes a huge difference with also the quality and also the little bit larger screen. It's good for the tablet use and the gaming, so that's also one of the reasons that I decided to keep this device, because the whole package is still worth the money compared to the Lenovo Duet here. I want to also show you guys the Call of Duty here. As you guys clearly see that, you're able to install this on the HP Chromebook X2, but it's not possible to install it in the Lenovo Chromebook Duet. I don't know what's the problem there. Maybe it's a CPU or the graphic card is not supported for the Lenovo one, but in the HP one it works. Now I will try to run the game. First, I want to show you guys the settings for the graphics here. You guys clearly see that for the graphic quality, we can also use the very high. And for the frame rate, you can also choose between very high and max. When you choose the max, this drops to the high. That's how it works here. I don't know exactly what's the reason for that, but at least you have the graphic quality of the high here. Now that I chose that, now I can play. And you guys can clearly see also the performance of this device in action. I'm a terrible player, but the quality of the graphic is good, that's for sure. I usually don't play this. This is a terrible idea for me, but you guys get the idea. Everything works good. There are sometimes small lagginess. It's not the best experience, but it works perfectly. So let's come to the conclusion here. The HP Chromebook X2 has a better CPU, almost 1.5 times to 2 times better performance to the Lenovo Chromebook Duet. The GPU performance is also there, as you saw in the benchmark, it's 3 times better, and also you can realize it when you're playing games. And I saw that the Call of Duty Mobile, for example, is supported here, but not in the Lenovo one for now. So there's a clearly advantage for the Chromebook X2, but the question is, do you need to upgrade from the Lenovo to the HP device? That's a tricky one. Just for the CPU, I would not recommend that if you just want to have a better CPU performance, but overall package here with a better screen, larger screen, is still good for the tablet use. and a bit better keyboard, and in general, it worth the price tag. But if you just want the CPU performance to be upgraded substantially, that's not the case here. And maybe it will be better if you wait 1 more year. If you want to upgrade from the Lenovo, for example, a device that has a better CPU, maybe next year we will have a better performance with the Snapdragon or MediaTek devices. So that was it for this video. Hope you guys could decide now based on the CPU performance of these two devices if you're willing to buy the HP one, or you want to, for example, keep the Lenovo one, or you will be happy to just buy the Lenovo Chromebook Duet. That was it for this video, and hope to see you guys in the next one where I will do more reviews for these two devices.